Today, you had to face off for your survival, creating patriotic tattoos. Based solely on your work, one of you will be packing your machines. Let's begin with the Midwest. Jake, you're up.
Your outline is clean, and your blends in this really, really nice.
Thank you.
East, you're next. Kay, let's start with you. It's a very simple, clean design, just in-your-face political statement.
It's a tough-looking tattoo, and the layout and the statement also holds power within itself.
Thank you.
EMAC, you're next.
Simple and clean, but literally, this is a 1 hour max tattoo. You're gonna have to be able to pick up the pace.
My job is not to look at how long something takes you. I think you do something here to put up the best fight you can.
I'm not gonna go down without a fight, so let's go.
I like it. Thank you. Moving on to the West. Arlene.
This is a bold, heavy tattoo, but there's a couple of areas in your outlines where you color black completely over the outline. If you know an area is gonna be solid black, then you don't need to outline under it.
I know, like what you're saying, that's what I usually do.
You have to relax. You're the only one that's killing yourself.
Next up is the South, who has 3 team members remaining. Let's start with Patrick.
This is the biggest, sharpest, cleanest tattoo of the day, for sure.
Thank you.
The gradient that you have here and the way that you purposefully put in your blacks, having the guts to make a face that black on the left side, that's confidence in tattooing. And I love really the resilience in you for coming back and showing us what you got. Thank you.
Nichelle.
It definitely has an unfinished feel to it. Pretty much nowhere in the tattoo do you have any really rich, solid black.
The only place that you did put it was behind your image. If your background richness was in the bell, it would look completely different. Best way to show light is with black.
That's pissed on myself.
Jason, you're next.
The way this thing's colored, man, I just have a lot of problems with it. The brown's not solid, your yellow's not up to the line, your red's not up to the line. If you're gonna do these solid fields of color, they need to be solid to the line.
Today, you had to execute flawless fundamentals, tattooing a compass rose. West, let's start with you. Hiram.
Get it?
Hi, guys.
Creatively, the fact that you took this shit, put it in a bottle in a new school way, and then you took the compass rose and made that an element of another subject, a really clever job, man.
If you're able to do drawings like this, then you're definitely gonna have a strong shot here.
Thank you.
Raul.
All right.
Your colors do look bright because there's a lot of black, so the contrast helps you out a lot, but the wing silhouette thing above, drastically unfinished look. It's not really doing you any favors.
All right.
Bob.
Man, I like your illustration. You do have some smooth technique. The shading in the leaves is really smooth.
But it's just way too crammed. It becomes just one blur.
If this tattoo was color, it'd be legible all day.
Yeah.
Arlene.
Hi.
The first thing I get when I look at this tattoo is not lace.
These different rays on the compass rose, they don't really line up.
And you're kind of missing one here.
Your east-northeast is missing.
If somebody had to find their way home, could get tricky.
Angel.
It's what a strong black outline can do. And it pops, and it's strong, and it's a sticker.
Is the flag going the wrong way?
Yes.
What?
And the wind is pushing the sails, so the sails are bowed this way, but then the flag is going the opposite way.
I will not forget.
East, you're next. EMAC.
It's pretty simple. You can tell what's going on. You've got a really doubled up thick outline here. Some of them look solid and clean, some of them do not. A lot of inconsistencies. If you're gonna make thick lines, they should all be the same thickness. You don't have the same thickness.
Jimmy.
The outline's clean, and the blue and the orange look saturated really nice. But man, we gotta talk about the compass rose part.
Your red doesn't look like you did it.
It really hurts the whole tattoo.
That was rough.
Jessa.
Hey, guys.
Let's talk about the scenery. Those 3 peaks, they're the same size, the same shape, and they abruptly stop at the edge of the circle. It does anything but show what it is that you're going for.
Why give us questions?
I don't know.
Kay.
It definitely seems unfinished. Just take a light pale yellow and try to color a big area with it. Just not the best choice to stand alone against a thin outline. You're gonna have to get a tattoo that's more solid, more finished.
Midwest, you're up. Frank.
Judges.
The design of this thing I really love. The circle on the globe is beautiful.
The little details you get in this tattoo are great.
Jordan.
The eye stands out strong. I just wish that it had some tone variance.
Kelly.
Hi, guys.
Your circle and your rows, very clean. Your lettering in the banner all matches. Technically, you stand out.
Thank you.
Jarrell.
How's it going?
You have a lot of really crisp straight lines, and your circles are a lot better than some of the others in the room.
Thank you.
Jake.
Hello, judges.
Selling me on this being a map is a stretch.
Design-wise, it falls pretty flat.
South. Let's see how you did. Patrick.
Excuse me, guys. What's up, fellas?
Big tattoo. When you get in close, you definitely see a lot of problems with the outlines.
Around the edge of this circle, that's where it stuck out the most.
Where you do solid fills of a lighter wash, it does look pretty smooth, though.
Thank you, guys, man.
Money Mike.
What up?
The snake is unappealing.
You do one style belly beneath the compass and you do one style belly above. What this tattoo suffers from the most is gonna be this anatomy.
Jordy.
Your blue saturation and your purple colors, it's solid, it's smooth. But what happened to your circles?
It wasn't a whole circle around. I kind of wanted to do a little loop between it, just kind of change it up.
I mean, it looks pretty wonky.
Jason.
These circles and the straight lines really are nice. The black is really strong, and that red is punched in so bright. I'm not a fan of trash polka, but you make this design cool.
That's clean.
Good job, buddy. Thanks.
Today, the South and the East had to face off against each other, tattooing an American traditional fairy. Based on your work, one of you will be packing your machines.
Here we go.
East, let's start with you. Jessa.
It is a very traditional style illustration. I like that it has a lot of rich contrast, it has a punch to it.
I like the style of hair that you do here. Coloring this in black, it gives it a nice graphic feel and shape, but if you're gonna use a bright red, why not use bright green and bright yellow? If you're doing American traditional, a muted color palette isn't really the classic way of doing it.
Jimmy.
All right.
Go, Jimmy.
I really like the illustration. I love the features you put on her to give her a fairy-esque look with the ears and the real straight nose. The line work throughout this thing is super clean, super sharp.
What really shines is the amount of open skin. Everything in the foreground is lit, it's beautiful. Remember that traditional tattoos were done when 40 people were waiting in a line. It was about moving fast and efficient. You definitely deliver here. It's a good job.
Thank you.
If you dropped the ball, I'd be really surprised.
Yeah, absolutely.
First good critique.
Kay.
I do see a big turn in you. You're definitely tattooing a lot better than where you started with us.
Yeah, the past couple days, just being able to make tattoos with my team was really great.
A lot of great color saturation in here, but this outline is super thin.
And she has a little bit of a flat face, but you show a lot more promise in being solid and being clean.
Thank you.
South, you're up. Money Mike. Anatomically, this thing is very, very strange. Arms don't grow from here.
It's kind of weird what's exactly going on. She's twisting up a little bit. We can see the drag lines of each needle as opposed to being one solid line. Also, the application of that green, not very smooth. You went over it a little bit too much. That's why you're getting that rough texture.
Patrick.
The illustration, I like it. The anatomy of the girl looks nice. Sitting on the moon looks nice, but it does get rough in a lot of areas. The lines in the hair look rough. The line by her neck is really, really beat. A lot of problems here with trauma with the skin.
I'll be honest, man, I've never had an issue like this before. It just was not as good skin as I thought it was gonna be.
It's pretty jacked.
Every time the skin is the issue, it's not always the skin that's the issue.
Jordy. I really love the position of this pinup, but the face got away a little bit. It just doesn't look proportionally right.
You do pull off a very traditional feel, and you do pull off a lot of solid saturation. Overall, it's a clean tattoo.
Jason, we did say creativity,
Four-titted chicken goat.
Just weird and funky, and it looks like you had a fun time with this.
Good one-pass line, solid black whip, solid color. It's a strong tattoo.
Thanks.
High risk, high reward.
I think it looked cool. I liked it.
Today, you are being tested on legibility with schematic tattoos. Let's see how you did. Midwest, you're up first. Jake.
I like the side of the skull a lot. The way that you shade this. It has that older feel, it has that journal feel. I like your letterings. Using the dashes is also a good choice. It breaks up the chances of a wobble in there. Overall, the quality of your tattooing is very nice.
Frank.
All right.
You were able to create an appealing tattoo and then work the schematic into it. I love that concept.
Good job, Frank.
Jarrell.
Now I know that you can line. Your 4 circles that go around the globe are really nice at the thickness that you do them, and you keep them consistent.
You made literally a beautiful piece of art out of it.
Thanks. Midwest is coming.
Kelly. This is one of the most legible tattoos of the day, and I don't even really know what part of the engine this is.
My canvas was a mechanic, and he wanted an exploded piston.
Your use of light source to show the dimension and proportions of these things is a really, really nice touch. I'm really super impressed with it.
Awesome, thank you.
Jordan.
If we just look at the bottom motorcycle, a lot of trouble getting those smooth, clean, round circles. There's a section of the rim where the line just, and you just miss that connection completely. Your line work has so many inconsistencies here, it is a problem.
East, you're up. Jessa.
Hi, guys.
Your whole typewriter looks really nice. Your keys look really nice. I like that your fonts match.
But the word typewriting machine up top gets pretty wonky.
Older typewriters, none of the keys go on the same plane.
That's what we were going
You know
for.
what I mean? I actually like that.
Good job, Jess.
Good job.
Thanks.
Okay.
The line down the middle of the nose gets thicker and thinner as you go. The reason that's happening is because in some areas the needle's going deeper, in other areas it's not going as deep. You've got to be able to control that depth.
Jimmy.
What's up?
I really like the addition of the revolver cartridge, and the A and B really sells the point of what this challenge is.
I do like that you went for it. It definitely needed it, because if you would have just shown up with the tank, that would have been definitely not good.
South, you're up next. Jason.
You leave the vertebrae itself start, and all of the dark background with the gears push forward. So straight, so clean.
We always harp on creativity. This is it. Money Mike.
What's happening, fellas?
There's just a lot of differences in that outline.
The end of the horn, where it gets thick, that looks like you're going in there to clean stuff up. You should have one consistent line weight, as opposed to hiding a few bumps and making the whole tattoo look inconsistent.
Jordy.
The realistic shaded plane and then this stripe through the middle with the schematic is very cool, but the call numbers on the side of the plane, that is a mess.
When you start something and you see it's not going well, don't continue on.
West, you're up next. Hiram.
Hello, guys.
You're crazy doing all these little lines everywhere. This is one hell of a swing.
I know this guitar, I have this guitar, and it looks like that. This is a badass tattoo, man.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Angel.
You do have challenges in your line work. If you go into the front of the body of the camera and you see where the lens would go in, it doesn't look like it's really gonna function because the shapes are wavering so much. But you do pull off what looks like a hand-drawn schematic.
Raul.
Fellas,
This schematic is just confusing. It looks super cluttered.
It's so hard to see what's going on. It looks like the back of the watch is off and shit's just spilling out.
Arlene.
The edge of the knife, that line work jumps around like crazy. Then you have the 7-inch, that line is out of control.
His skin was really difficult to deal with.
There's a way to put tattoos in all kinds of skin, and you didn't get it on this tattoo.
Bob.
This is the best drawing of the day, man. I love all the pieces coming apart, but I lost count of blowouts on this thing, like 40-something.
I felt like I just had no control over it blowing out or not. I could go like less than a millimeter in touching the skin and it would just blow out immediately.
Blown out or not, I would wear that thing. It's badass. Today, you had to prove your consistency by creating multiple tattoos on the same canvas as a team. Let's see how you did. East, you tattooed the earth. You're up. K.
The way this thing is very simply shaded is cool. Very clean, very solid outline. The vine with the color in it, weaving in and out, pretty dynamic. I really like the tattoo.
It's pretty good overall.
Jessa.
It has what it takes to make the eye move around and see a harmony and a balance. Your color in this is really rich. You do have a nice solid distribution of color and black and gray in the tattoo, so I think it reads prettier.
Still pretty good overall.
Jimmy.
I really like the open skin, the little highlight that you leave in the cheek, and then you have those areas of stippling around it. I like the black whip that you bring off the back of the skull. It gives it weight.
The outline is solid, and the stipple shading is super smooth.
It's pretty badass.
Thank you.
So, how'd they do overall?
I like the concept of the decaying of life and then new life springing up.
I see the similar color palette, which also play as harmonious together.
South, you tattooed wind. You're up next. Money Mike.
What's going on, fella?
Just a straight, square picture. It's not the most creative move.
The perfect square you do not have.
You have a lot of application problems. You can see the brush strokes coming through. If you're doing a lot of this, it's never gonna be as black as what it comes out of the bottle.
Jordy.
I love the way the building looks like it's about to be pulled away.
But if you just look at the twister, it's a tube with a few lines. It could be a ventricle, it could be anything. Every part of the tattoo has to be understood as to what it is.
Tough crowd.
Jason.
Very graphically designed style that you have with the house broken in half, but you definitely see what's going on and see the pieces of the house getting lifted away. Definitely looks really smooth. Definitely a very legible depiction of the wind here.
Thanks.
Overall as a team, as far as consistency, how do you see it?
The only thing consistent in this team is that they did 3 tornado tattoos.
Everybody did their own thing, kind of. Instead of stepping together as a unit, they got 3 different windows, so it doesn't tell it strong enough.
Midwest, you tattooed water. You're up next. Jake.
Cute little crab drawing, bold outline, but the water on this thing is a bummer. You know, water can't just wiggle in whatever way it wants to.
Frank.
I like the shell. The water, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense. I don't know what's going on.
The water itself is so HD and so over the top that it doesn't match the shell. These are 2 separate thoughts, so now the shell looks not finished.
Jordan.
I like your helmet. You hit some nice details in the cage in the front, but the water on the bottom, it almost looks like a bottom jaw of a skull with rotted out teeth. It looks like a million different things to me. It's not just, boom, it's water.
Tattoos are good, we just chose wrong.
Jarrell.
It's camouflage, man. It is hard to read. The pearl's supposed to be white and shiny, and it's as dark as the shell. It's just too much craziness going on in a small thing.
Water's clear. Water's not black. It should be light, light, light shaded.
Sinking ship.
Kelly.
Kind of crazy on the design. It's mist, it's smoke. Because it's blue doesn't make it water.
How'd they do overall as a team?
2 went different directions, 3 went the same direction.
Most of these tattoos are a bummer for me. That's consistent.
We made a choice. Let's go do it.
West, you had fire. You're up. Angel.
I like the burst you have around the flame, and the color in the flame is solid. On a day like today, it is shining bright.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Bob.
It's definitely a cool take. It's something we haven't seen in the competition before.
And the contrast between your black and gray element and your color element stands strong.
Thank you.
Killed it, man. Thanks.
Hiram.
The illustration of the torch and the ornate details are cool, but the black is not the same color as the outline. It's not saturated. The red, not saturated. It's great from a distance, not so good up close.
It's way cooler drawing than mine.
Raul.
I like the dark shading that you put into the candle holder, but the saturation in the flames and the blends are a little bit off.
Your red, not vibrant. No 2 points on these flames are the same anywhere.
How did the West do in terms of consistency?
These pieces do all seem to go together, but the consistency is all over the place here.
Today, the Midwest and the South had to face off against each other, and you were being tested on consistency. Based on your work, one of you will be packing your machines. Let's see how you did. Midwest, let's start with you. Kelly. I'm really blown away by the creativity here. It's a great illustration. I love that you can have an insect in the background coming down a ledge into the foreground and pull that off with such great precision and detail.
And what I really like is that you have variance within the body. That gives us this flow and this movement. I like the highlight and the break that you put in that. It really gives it a nice turn and a nice light. This is a fun one to look at.
Thanks, guys.
Get it great, man.
Next up is Jordan.
Where have you been all competition? I mean, this is a much better tattoo than I've seen so far. As far as your shading goes, I like the fact that the cicada is darker than the flowers.
This line work does look very consistent, super smooth everywhere.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Jarrell.
Well, I love the creativity of this design and the simplicity of it. Looks like an insect right off the bat. Then the subtle little inferences you added to it with the little ropes and the ball gag and the habit gives a very cool little touch.
One of the tricks of the trade is being able to use this much black in such a small area and still see what everything is, and you do that really well here.
Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah.
My guy.
Frank.
Man, what a dynamic image. It definitely has a very illustrative graphic design look to it. All the little detail lines are very consistent. Your color saturation, there's a little bit of variance just in a couple of areas where you undershaded with gray and then put the blue over top, but definitely one of the coolest, most wicked insects that we see today.
Cool.
Jake.
It's got a cool motion to it. It's got a cool anatomy, but the sore thumb in this tattoo is the crown. Your outline gets a little wavery on the crown. It looks out of place with the rest of the tattoo.
I understand what you're saying, but I didn't necessarily want it to be a focal point.
I like your drawing. I like it a lot better than yesterday's drawing, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's fight.
South, you're up. Jason.
Today, consistency, you really show up with your color. The whole tattoo is very consistent because your black is very graphic, very strong. Your delivery is all consistent. I like the style. I like the imagery. I like the little pop of white that you put in there. If you can get it in to look like house paint, good for you. When you put black in properly and you lay in a strong outline and you make it wall to wall, it just looks so good on skin.
Jordy.
I like this image, I like the drawing, the color palette, but I wish that there was open skin in this tattoo.
It's very rare that you'll hear me say it's too solid, it's too much, but it's really, really packed. It could definitely use a couple of breaks where you just let this thing breathe a little bit. It would really go a long way for you.
Today, you were being tested on contrast with neon light tattoos. Let's see how you did. West, you're up first. Angel.
Hey, guys.
The way that you create the glow on your piece is very nice.
The brightest part, there's nothing there.
You have solid black, bright color, open skin, and it shows contrast.
Thank you.
Solid.
Bob.
Definitely has a neon look to it. You definitely get a glow effect, but why wouldn't you use a more legible dragon figure shape? The weird grizzly bear standing dragon position is very awkward.
Hiram. I like the use of color in this drawing, but I don't see the neon effect as much as I see a tattoo with neon colors.
What's wrong with the tattoo is your light source. The shirt that's the closest to the neon is not lit. Remember where the light comes from, and it's gonna make everything in your tattoo make sense.
Raul.
You get a neon glow look, but I don't think it looks like a helmet. It looks like two separate thoughts that are cut and pasted over top of each other. The sword kind of stops with these weird lines right here and what's going on. It's just not one cohesive design.
That was a tough one.
East, you're up. Jessa.
Gorgeous. Hey, guys.
Outlining the entire shade in purple or lavender to create a glow isn't a light source. It just doesn't make sense. Nothing in the drapery gets lit, and then the hand would have light pushing out. Everything would have light pushing out, so it would have some form of radiance. Capturing radiance is what you're missing here.
K.
The green fades into the open skin, and it does create a really nice glow, but background is a killer. It's a big, chunky shape for no reason.
You gotta draw interesting. This is not a drawing that's gonna win the best of the day. You gotta know that you're putting yourself in jeopardy.
Jimmy.
All right.
The tattoo is very legible. As far as selling the idea that this thing is lit up with neon, that one zigzag in the headband does look like it's glowing. Your color saturation and color blending was also very nice. There's a lot of good aspects to this tattoo.
Thanks.
Suck on that. South, you're next. Jason.
You do capture a glow. The skull is glowing, the tubes are glowing, but a lot of sloppiness in the outline, a lot of sloppiness in the shading, a lot of sloppiness in the color.
I'm not a fan of neon light tattoos.
Doesn't matter, you still know how to outline. That has nothing to do with neon. The Day of the Dead designs just scribbled in everywhere. I think it's a miss, man.
Jordy.
I'm not a fan of the way this pink glow fades into all the other colors on the outside of it. It's just muck. The Kraken itself, not a lot of detail. We're looking for contrast, man. Make the Kraken stand out. This thing is a mess.
How you feeling? Not good.
Midwest, you're next. Frank.
How we doing, fellas?
I love the flamingo. I love the detail that you put in that straw.
But this background, man, is a killer. It's just so much cover-up. You gotta come up with another solution.
Kelly.
Good afternoon, guys.
You didn't light source your tattoo. If there was this much lightning in this little space, then the house would be reflecting the colors.
And just this big black teardrop shape with a couple of bites taken out of it is doing nothing for the design.
Jordan.
The drawing on this is really challenged. The perspective on the drawing and then the size of the bulbs make the bat not a bat. A bat is this long. You have to capture that somehow.
You got murky shading that makes it look brown, doesn't look bright, doesn't look vibrant. It's just a dumbed down version of what this tattoo could have been.
I liked it, Jordan.
Could be worse.
Jarrell.
This one for me is really rough. I'm trying to find out where is the blue coming from, because there's no blue neon.
I don't know. I was thinking about if there's like a blue light illuminating from the bottom, but not on the tattoo, you know?
But the blue is pushing up on the neon, which is supposed to be pink.
Yeah. So I'm in the bottom.
Didn't like what any of us
Most of us did.
Today, you faced off in a battle for survival. You were being tested on adaptability. Raul, Jason, and Jimmy. Based on your work, one of you will be packing your machines. Raul, we will start with you.
Real simple, real bold. You hit the mark on traditional style look. You'd have a strong, simple color palette, nice saturated black, and then you have areas of black whip shade in the nose, black whip shade in the lip. That's the kind of whip shade that we're looking for.
Wow. But the third eye is strange. Your drawing has this really wide gap, and then your circles on those eyes, you kind of lose it, especially on the left one. And I do wish that the brown of the tiger wasn't in his teeth. That's very bizarre.
I'm not so familiar with all of the rules. That was just an aesthetic decision I made.
I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but this is the most legible thing you've shown us.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. But any compliments from you guys, I'll take that all day.
Next up is Jimmy.
What I love about this tattoo is the black. It reads very graphic, and it really stands out on this person's skin. I like how stark and how open it is, how much open skin you rely on to really capture the look of this thing.
It was stressful and trying not to overthink it, and also knowing that these guys are gonna bust their asses to compete with what I do.
You see that whip shade that's right off the red lip and the one that's right off the chin? That's the look. I mean, it looks so perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. It was good. Yeah.
Next up is Jason.
I like the illustration. It really has that vintage look to it. For me, I wish you would have whipped out your color to the edge, that brown. I wish that was just kind of fanned out a little bit.
There's nowhere where you fade from brown to skin. It's just filled in, and it just looks patchy.
And I'm just a little confused about those lines, that shading style. What is that?
Well, like I whipped it out, and they kind of like accentuate the whips a little bit. It's a stylized thing. I like that it didn't look like all the same thing, you know?
That for me is a little bit of a question mark, especially because we're looking at American traditional, and I would think that would be something that would be important. Today, you had to show color theory with a new school food tattoo. Let's see how you did. Midwest, you had the advantage. Let's start with you. Kelly.
The drawing of the dog is super cute. The details in the condiments on the top, very cool.
But your contrast in here gets a little bit muted. So as far as a clean tattoo, you definitely hit it. As far as new school, it's more of a miss.
Jarrell. On the color theory side, you really hit this thing, especially in the whipped cream where you use 4 colors to give that dollop some dimension.
The purple comes over the back, goes into the brown, butts up to the green. That's good color theory.
Frank.
I like it. Is it new school? No. Is it just a color illustration drawing? Yes. There is no real color theory or some crazy shape of the lobster. It's new school day. Where's the wow? Where's the bam? Where's the zing zing?
I thought I was going for it. I guess I wasn't.
West, you're next. Raul.
Fellas?
I think this is one of your strongest outings.
My favorite part is the hand in the foreground. I like the color theory. I like how you take that front of the thumb, you leave that skin break in it to show the light.
But what's the defining characteristics of a bagel? It has a hole in the middle. Without the hole, is it a bagel?
Hiram.
Talking about color theory, and you're gonna put ice blue next to yellow. And the thing in between the ice blue and the yellow is gonna be the bun. You don't have color theory there because you don't have a pop. So the tattoo just falls short on how you play your colors.
You did a good job, man. That's dope.
Angel.
The face on the buffalo is very cute, but your color play here is super stale and flat.
This whole hind quarter of the buffalo, I just can't imagine a positive reason to choose that color. It's a bad choice.
Bob.
All right, let's talk about it.
The design is cool, but your color palette and these colors put together is where your composition takes a turn.
It's just all the same muted tones throughout. This whole tattoo is camouflaged like crazy.
That was a tough one.
South, you're up. Jason.
The color in this tattoo is beat.
I underestimated the skin. As soon as I hit it with the needle, I was like, oh, that's not great.
I actually love the front of this drawing. Why don't you just do the guy riding a bull and do no background and be done? Get in, get out. You don't need to do something that's impossible to work off.
Jordy. Your pig is so legible. Then your eye goes lower, and there's so much darkness and contrast issues, and it's very difficult to figure out what this pig is hanging over.
Then off to the side of this smoke that's billowing off of it, you have this other feature.
It's supposed to be the top of the grill.
I don't know that it's ribs. I don't know that it's a grill.
It's just like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
East, you're up next. Jessa.
As far as color theory here goes, there's no pop in this. It's flat, it's boring. The transition of magenta to pink, it looks like sidewalk chalk. For what it is, it should be blasted with color. And these colors really just play into your canvas's skin tone.
You just don't hit the mark on this one.
Damn. Kay.
What did you do in this that you thought was new school?
Exaggerating the shape of the top flower and shape of the jam jar.
I don't think you made an outrageous shape of anything.
It looks like a painterly life study.
All right.
Jimmy.
This has a very new school feel. The shading in the lemon with the blue on one side, the lobster with the yellow on one side and the blue on the other. You have a little bit of green in the eyes, and you throw a little bit of green into the tail and a little bit of green into the leaves. The color play makes the dynamics of the image.
Thank you.
Today, you had to show artistry, tattooing a pinup. Let's see how you did. East, let's start with you. Jimmy.
I really like this illustration. I love the skin tone in this tattoo. Leaving the shirt almost completely open works because the shirt is surrounded by color.
You're really leaning on leaving a lot of open skin now. You could have colored your stars, just little details to make it look that much more finished. But overall, this is a great tattoo. It's a good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Jimmy.
Thanks. Jessa. I don't understand this shoe that I'm looking at. I don't see how this leg and knee is coming out and then swooping down around and coming straight down, but in front of the other leg. I don't know where that's coming from and how it's making that turn.
For a very simple drawing, it has to be right. You did those 2 brown lines that come to the nostrils and gave her 0 nose. You definitely show some technical problems here today.
K.
Today's a day to do small details and do a cute face. I think you do that. But if you're gonna have a hiccup in a line, hope it's not somewhere like right on her chin. Since it's right there, it's jumping out. From her waist up, she's super cute. Her proportions look right. And then the shape of that thigh going into the knee, it doesn't look like it's hers.
It raises some questions anatomically. Midwest, you're next. Jarrell.
Hi, guys.
I really like this girl. I especially love the dark strip of shading that you have down the center of her leg that pushes out. That light source is beautiful. And the way that you get that nice, gentle, soft texture in the shirt really shows well. You're really shining on this one.
Thank you.
That's what's up.
Frank.
I like the image, but the way you try to render this face, it's not gonna be long until this face is a mess. You'd be much better off with just the lines of the lips, just like you did the line of the eyebrow, and be done with it. It's so small. You just take it too far.
Kelly.
The tattooing is very smooth. That outline, see how black that is, everybody? That's how the line's gotta look to win.
The whole thing is really adorable. Really nice job.
Thank you.
Good job, Kelly, man.
Thanks, guys.
Next up is the South. And of course, that means Jason.
This tattoo looks messy.
It's weird because you have super clean, rich black, fading out the bright color in one area, and then right on the other side of the tattoo, you have a sketchy, not solid black with that chalky look color. Your application's not consistent, even an area that's only 2 inches away from where you did really nice application.
It went better than I thought it was gonna.
West, you're up. Bob.
This tattoo is really clean for the ribs. Your outline on this is very nice. I like the divot in the center of the arm, and I really love the helmet. Nice light, dark black shaded on the bottom. You prove yourself in this tattoo.
Good job, Bob.
Thanks. Keep them coming, Frank.
Raul.
Going on, fellas?
I like this little crazy cute drawing.
I love the skin tone. Just not afraid to go rich and dark. And the way you put in the blue, super cool tattoo.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Killed it. New school artist now.
Hiram.
Her face is great. On a face this small, keeping the eyes black like that really sinks them in and makes it look great.
You do have a couple of wonky lines going on in the tire, but overall, man, I think you do a great job with it.
Thank you.
Angel.
I really, really like this illustration. The color play works great. I like the way the legs are shaded because it gives it that sheer look.
With the stockings and the strap, you're paying attention to the pressure that this strap is putting onto the skin. That's a great testament to your artistry.
I'm glad you noticed it.
I noticed it right away. Today, the 5 of you had to face off for your survival, and you were being tested on technical application. Based on your work, 2 of you will be packing your machines. Let's see how you did. Jarrell, let's start with you.
You do have some smooth shading in here. Your outline looks very clean.
It's very legible to what it is. You have one of the most flattering overall silhouettes today.
Thank you.
You got a good critique.
Next up is Jimmy.
The drawing for me is tough. That tail tucked makes him scared. If you see any animal that's rearing back from something, it tucks the tail and it shows fear, and then you have the hands posed down instead of out. It doesn't look ferocious enough.
But I will say, on technical application day, you do have a lot of really clean outlines, and you do have a lot of rich black, and all your shading is very uniform throughout this entire tattoo. It does look very smooth, but the overall look of the image is a bummer.
Next up is Jason.
I do love the head. I think you have the best drawn head. Your claws and your paws are cool.
I was just trying to make it cool. Griffin, and I was just going for fantasy art.
The steamy steam hair that's coming off of everything definitely gives me the inference of mystical, magical.
But you also have some messy stuff where the chest and the shoulder turn into the wing. It's just all guesswork what's really going on right here. Dynamic drawing, but it gets pretty out of control.
So much for artistry.
Raul.
I do like the face. It looks tough. I also do like that front claw that's open. You see the talons, you see the strength, you see the grip in it, but in the body, you don't really get that softness anywhere, and it's a shame because the whole front neck and the whole front chest just get so blacked out. All these little shapes that are underneath the throat here, you see a lot of messiness.
Next up is Frank.
You're one of the few people today that gets the proportions on the front legs and the back legs correct. And this dynamic pullback in that front leg is really beautiful.
But it's not a really strong silhouette because it is kind of balled up. It's a weird body position to try to show what's going on. And for translation to a tattoo, you need a lot of contrast to let each part of this body look visible. You look at the hind legs, I can just see shading that just kind of, instead of looking smooth, like it fades from one area to the other, it just looks rough. It just gets real messy.
Told you it was gonna be a tough one today.
Today, you had to show smooth shading, tattooing a black and gray, realistic U.S. landmark. Let's see how you did. West, you're up. Angel.
It's really legible, it's really clear, but this is a New Mexico Pueblo. That is a saguaro cactus. It only grows in Arizona.
Oh, shoot. That is my bad.
But overall, I think it's a very smart play on how to attack this.
Thank you.
Killed it.
Good job, Angel.
Hiram. You definitely hit that this is the Statue of Liberty. You have some nice dark to light transitions in the face, but then none of that application is happening throughout this tattoo.
I see it everywhere.
Look at the torch. Sketchy. Going to the top of the crown. That one point looks like I hit it with an eraser. Consistency from top to bottom, no way.
Bob.
The problem is it's such an immense structure that anywhere there is detail is going to be so tiny when you show the whole thing.
I realized that when I got down to doing it.
Did you ever consider not putting the top on and just working up to the rim of the dam?
But it does have those towers, and I didn't want to like omit something that makes it what it is.
Your one area of really nice shading is the face of the dam. Your rocks look really nice on the lower sections. The top just has an unfinished look. I respect your moxie to go for it, but the top of this tattoo is a pretty big miss.
Stay strong, sir.
East, you're next. Jimmy.
You did a black and gray tattoo.
I did.
I didn't know you had that in you. Overall, man, your silhouette and the structure of this thing looks really good as far as the way you lay it out.
Very smart execution. Definitely surprised us with a different look than we've ever seen from you before.
Thank you.
Jessa.
It is pretty messy. It's got rough line work, it's got rough shading. If we look at the underside of the road, all that black is just really stripy.
For me, the real problem is that this road just does not line up with itself, and the fence doesn't line up with itself.
Your illustration is a very smart approach. It's just nothing's real consistent.
Midwest, you're next. Kelly.
Hi, guys.
The lettering in this thing, fantastic. But that cleanliness gets lost in the rest of the tattoo. That front dark area is shaded in every direction. The patchiness and the directional look of it is where it's not smooth. On a day like today where we're looking for shading, there's a lot of problems for me in this one.
Frank.
It's definitely recognizable, but it is very messy.
We're testing shading today. And yes, you have dark areas, you have mid-tone areas, you have light areas, but there's no gradient, there's no transitions from dark to light.
They're not wrong.
Jarrell.
It's a smart approach. It's a simple way to infer detail with just a little bit of lines and a lot of shading.
It has really nice smooth transitions, namely in the lighthouse. It fades off very, very nice. From black to skin, looks beautiful, but you do not need to bring any of those shapes on the outside into his sternum. I love your tattooing, but you're going too fast.
I know it's hard for me to just really, really slow down.
I hear you would take the time to scallop something out and win.
Good job, though. I like your background, too.
I did too.
This week, you had to prove your versatility by tattooing someone else's line drawing and your own design. Let's see how you did. Hiram, let's start with you. You had to tattoo Jimmy's line drawing.
It's definitely the most solid tattoo you've done yet. You did a great job translating where things needed to go in this tattoo. This color is really saturated. It's the right color palette, and the pepper shading looks nice.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the design that you created for Angel.
You did a profile of a girl head with a twig. You're not really pushing the envelope on showing us your drawing skills.
But the silhouette of the tattoo is very flattering. What I especially like is your attention to the way that you shade the face, from the dark, rich shading that comes under the nose to the nice white open skin. You tattoo incredibly clean here.
Thank you.
I know you did good.
Angel, you had to tattoo Hiram's line drawing.
The way you translate someone else's drawing is tricky. You have that black section behind the earring, which gives her this crazy little pencil neck. The contrast on this tattoo, it just makes the things that aren't appealing stand out.
The mouth looks incredibly small. She does look like she's missing a tooth.
The additions and the changes that you made got you more than anything.
Yeah.
Let's move on and look at what you designed for Bob.
Angel, I really like this drawing. The smoothness of this application is completely different from your other tattoo.
The shading that you have in the face really gives it that lizard-like feel, but this yellow color just becomes pretty similar against your canvas's skin. With a different color choice, you could have really made this thing pop.
Bob, you had to tattoo Angel's line drawing.
You do a great job figuring out what colors you wanted to really make that thing jump off the skin.
I love that salmony kind of tone pushing out into the green.
I love your take on the mouse and how little hints of color actually makes that mouse whiter. For me, Bob's pops off the skin a little bit more.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at Bob's design that he made for Jarrell.
The amount of layering that you get from the pink overlay of the piece coming out of the top of the claw to then using a richer pink and then a lighter pink behind it and then coming with the deeper red behind that. It's monochromatic, but it shows depth and layering. You do a really nice job on this tattoo.
I applaud you for designing this because anybody who gets your tattooed is instantly thrown a versatile challenge. Jarrell, you had to tattoo Bob's line drawing.
I love the exterior of the claw. This richer, darker red with your black really helps your piece.
What you did with the little intestine part, really like that transparency that you get with that. Couldn't be two further ways to approach this tattoo, but both came out super strong.
So, Jarrell, you designed for Kelly. Let's take a look at that line drawing.
The look of the paint or the blood or whatever's on the fingers is cool. Then you have that bright teal that pops on there.
But the piece doesn't have balance in color because you put everything heavy up top and neglect the bottom. I just want it stronger. I want it brighter. I want it more on purpose.
Kelly, you had to tattoo Jarrell's line drawing.
That is a clean outline. Everything you do in this tattoo is rich, crisp, solid, saturated. You do a great job interpreting this tattoo.
Thank you.
Two completely different trains of thought, and there's a lot of really great highlights in both.
Let's move on to the design you did for Frank.
I do like this illustration. I think it's cool. I think it's legible. I like the way the colors juxtapose against each other.
I love this thing. You always come up with something really inventive. You do a great drawing here.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
Thanks, guys.
Frank, you had to tattoo Kelly's line drawing.
Get him, bud.
You went a little darker with a lot of your color tones, and you get a lot of great contrast in this tattoo.
Instantly, this hot and cold color palette works because the red bounces off the green, the blue bounces off the red, but these dark reds and maroons don't go in solid. So all your diamond shapes look messy.
There's things about Kelly's that I think are smoother and softer. Both of these came out super strong, though.
All right. Frank, you designed a line drawing for Jimmy.
It's a cool little character. I think it's super simple, it's super clean, super legible. I like the red in this tattoo a lot, man. Solid, bright.
But your black doesn't keep up with the red. You see holidays through both of your areas of black. I think you missed the boat a little bit.
Good tattoos, bud.
Jimmy, you had to tattoo Frank's line drawing.
I don't like this one from you. It just doesn't have the appearance that you did it. There's no outline that's solid. That entire hairline is transparent. The black in the hair off the right cheek is super not punched in. The whole tattoo looks sanded.
Frank gets that rich, solid red that really chumps. And then I think Jimmy in a little bit more trouble with his blacks. I don't think it's a really big push for Versatility Day for you. That's where you're falling short.
Let's take a look at your own line drawing that you did for Hiram.
I like the drawing. I like what you do here with the strange color choices.
Definitely hone it in on the outline on this. And your areas of solid black, way better than the last tattoo.
Everything keeps up and you do what we expect you to do all the time.
Right.
Well, let's take a look at Jimmy and Hiram's tattoos.
I think it's super cool because we see different takes on the same line drawing.
Both these tattoos are strong.
Oh, Jimmy. My bad, man. Sorry.
Today, you had to tattoo portraits of senior citizens, and you were being tested on precision. Let's take a look at how you did. Midwest, you're up. Jarrell, let's start with you.
Overall, you execute a very nice portrait that picks up the nuances of the man. You nail the eyes. Everything's very clean and precise.
You have areas that transition from dark to light, creating contours. Overall, I think you get a really smooth effect with this portrait.
Thank you, guys.
Kelly.
I guess.
You do capture the likeness of this guy. You capture the look in his eyes. You also get the inference of all these wrinkles, but your application of the tattoo is smoother than his skin, so you kind of gloss him up. So he has this weird look about him like he's kind of melting or something. But as far as making a pleasing tattoo, I think you do a good job.
Good job, man. Good job, Doc.
Thanks, man.
Frank.
Your values got a little bit further away from you than they needed to be. The darkness of that V between her eyes, it's turning her expression to a meaner expression.
She has a couple of freckles or moles that you made a lot more noticeable than they are in real life. Your interpretation of these textures give it a different look than what's in the photo.
Had to happen to somebody.
East, Jimmy, you're next.
All right.
If you look at your tattoo, you're like, man, that nose looks crazy. But then you look at the photo and you're like, that's the shape of the nose. If you look detail per detail, you hit the details in this character.
And I like the look of the gray shading you get in his face. For a guy that doesn't do portraits, you did good.
Good job, Jimmy.
West, you're up. Bob.
Instead of having darks and lights flow across the contours of the face, you pick out the dark spots of the tattoo and you just hit the dark spot. You create spots across the forehead, you create spots through the chin, and the area that's the mustache is literally just a few dozen spots.
It has more of a cheetah pattern than a hair pattern.
It's a weird approach.
Hiram.
You get some great details. The details in the teeth are nice, but they're way harsh compared to the softness of the photo. She looks way older in the tattoo than she does in the photo.
Just letting it fall back and giving those little inferences, that's the move. Less is more.
That thing looks crazy. It's okay, man.
Hey, I deserve it.
Angel.
A white hairdo like this is tricky, but the way you put the heavy black around the outside and leave a lot of negative and just a little bit of detail in it, it looks very believable.
The silhouette shape of the hair is the only part where you miss it a little bit. But when I look at the picture and I look at the tattoo, I see the likeness. I think it's spot on.
Thank you.
You killed it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Today, you are being tested on composition, tattooing Japanese cranes. Let's see how you did. Midwest, let's start with you.
I'm terrified.
Jarrell.
The question here for me on composition is that an ant pile? Because the size relationship from that mountain to that sun to the white cap and the bird, there's serious issues with depth. The sun can't be bigger than anything on the whole tattoo that's in the back.
Is that a wind, that scoop that comes back?
I was trying to show off some wind, just to break up the elements.
You have water, you have wind, you have clouds, and tonally, they're all exactly the same. And it's just a lot to take in.
Yeah.
There's not a harmony going on with anything in here. The clouds don't really match the water. The water's dramatic, the clouds are bubbly and loose. Today, this did not fly for you.
It's rough, man.
Kelly.
Your tail feathers in this tattoo are beautiful. They're shaded beautifully, but these drawings are weird. Your bird is like a pterodactyl. You have a massive head with a very small body. And when you gnarl up their beaks and gnarl up their heads, you create more of a dinosaur look. The idea here was style and grace. This doesn't hit that look.
Thanks.
East, you're next. Jimmy? I actually like this tattoo. It's simple and legible, but that back leg coming out and over the wing, anatomically, it's a little strange.
I just wanted to show more of the leg.
You put a gray cloud next to a gray shaded section of the wing.
It just looks like a third row of feathers. The cloud's not doing anything except disrupting your flow. Composition there is very strange.
That was the nicest one up there.
West, you're up. Angel.
The solid red in the sun, it's very saturated. There's also some nice soft gray areas. But as far as composition goes, the way the black clouds just bubble on one side and then bubble at the bottom, it doesn't create a flow. It doesn't create something dynamic to make the piece more legible.
What is up with that wing? How many directions can those feathers flow?
You're talking about the right one or the left one?
The one in front that has feathers going this way and that way and this way and that way. I mean, it's your focal point. It's the biggest thing in your tattoo is the wing that's staring at me in the face that's completely drawn wrong. That's not what a wing looks like in any bird.
That was rough.
Damn.
Bob.
As far as the drawing goes of the two birds, I like it. But this murky, muddy, dark green kills this thing.
I did have problems putting that one color into the skin.
The way you end the tattoo is beautiful. How solid that blue is your biggest problem in the tattoo because that bright blue outdoes everything. Great drawing today, but you had technical problems.
Today, your opponents called the shots. 3 of you will move on to the finale, and 2 of you will be packing your machines. Let's see how you did. West, start with you. Bob.
For a single needle tattoo with no other shader, you do a really clean take on this thing.
You captured the look of this fish by the shape of the body. It has a roundness to the body of the shape, and it's because that highlight you left through the stripes, you totally kill it in this tattoo, man.
Thank you.
Good job, Bob.
Thank you. It's a rough one you guys threw at me.
Angel.
You get a lot of great color play and richness. The details you get in this little road create a great depth, but your mountain peak is completely lost because it's the same as the cloud.
Oh, man.
The tricks that you have in the foreground are beautiful, but I don't get the realism feeling out of it. The whole tattoo has a very painterly feel.
You killed the evergreen forest, though.
At least there's that.
East, you're next. Jimmy.
At the top of the jellyfish, you capture the look of what's going on, but then you come down, it's hard to follow your ribbons and your twists and your turns.
I wanted to have enough color play in there to show, movement.
You could have put a little bit more darker shades on some of the tentacles so you could follow where it's going, but a lot of things you hit here are really strong.
Thank you.
Midwest, you're up. Jarrell.
I commend you for doing it this big and taking a swing at this. The sore thumb for me in the tattoo is gonna be the black that you have in the horse.
Parts of it have an unfinished look. There's no shading in the hooves, killer illustration, but overall cleanliness throughout, you definitely have some major hiccups.
It was a hard one, man. Yeah, it was.
Kelly.
A lot of great application. The shading in the face, the shading in the neck, the smoothness of the shading is nice, but somewhere details of her face had to slowly become less visible into the galaxy.
There's so many interesting ways to morph one thing turning into another thing, and it doesn't even appear that you tried that.
See you guys next time.
Angel, Jarrell, and Jimmy. You had one last chance to prove you deserve a spot in the finale by surviving a 13-hour tattoo marathon. Based on your work, 2 of you will move on to compete in the finale, and 1 of you will be eliminated. Let's see how you did. Angel, out of everybody's flash designs, your designs were chosen the most.
Awesome.
All your designs look very nice, but you create images that are not as easy to recreate on the fast. Doing tattoo designs that could be done quick would have been a little bit better.
Let's take a look at the tattoos that you did. In 13 hours, Angel, you completed 11 tattoos.
Your line work is pretty clean on almost every single one of these. Your first space dog is the worst one. The dog gets too black, so it's a little bit illegible. The third and fourth one are the best ones. If you didn't do 5 space dogs, you could have done more tattoos.
I think I was the only one who did the space dog, ironically.
My favorite tattoo you do of all the tattoos is the simplest, the Gravestone 13. It looks like a quick banger. It's really smooth. I definitely see some high points in your tattooing. Overall, your body of work is pleasing.
Jarrell, you're up next. Your designs were picked the least. Only 6 canvases picked your designs. I like these designs. They all have a little creepy Friday the 13th vibe. This is my guy all day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think your designs work, they just don't work for the crowd.
however, you tattooed the most, coming in at 15 tattoos in 13 hours.
It was just crazy.
For doing 15 tattoos, your strong point here is your outlines are all pretty consistent, but your shortcomings are the areas where you try to put too much solid black in. The monkey tattoo, that whole big area of the side and the bottom of the chin where you shade gets rough, and it does start to look like you're in a rush. But looking at the skull of the hat, the shading in the eyes gets really rich and then opens up nicely. Your shading looks like you're taking a little bit more precision.
If you pulled back a little bit and did 13, those other areas that you were flying through would have tightened up. But overall, you banged out the most, and you did killer job. Jimmy, your flash designs were tattooed 16 times, 1 less than Angel.
I like the style of these tattoos. Simple, clean, legible.
And incidentally, Jimmy, you're the only artist whose designs were all picked at least once. In 13 hours, you completed 13 tattoos.
What I like about the tattoos is the fact that they all have weight. Your skull's head with the steps, the way that you shade it, the consistency, the black has a very heavy, strong weight. But you have a little bit of some wobbles towards the top of the outline.
There are a few tattoos where your outline gets a little away from you. Your first tattoo, the moon, you get a little bit of wobbles in your outline. I know it's in a difficult area.
It was on the ribs, I mean.
Your last tattoo of the day, I love the way this one's shaded.
Did that in 15 minutes.
It's still solid, it's still clean, you still keep the consistency. Overall, your body of work, you put your stamp and your style on the tattoos, whether they are your design or not. The consistency plays strong in your favor.
Thank you.